So I'm going to have a go at a little estuary scene. So I've been on holiday and my paints have been sat for 3 weeks. So I am just giving them a little squirt with a spritzer just to reactivate them a little bit. I have got a little bit of Saunders Waterford. It's about 5 by 7 inches. I've got my round number 10, my round number 6 and a number 2 rigger. I've got my water pot here as well. Even my brushes are solid. So I'm just going to give them a little rinse. Okay, so with some clean water, I'm going to come down to about halfway. This is with my round number 10. And I'm going to cover this top section with water. I'm going to get a lovely atmospheric cloudy sky on. And dip into some cerulean blue. I've loaded my brush with water first. I'm coming through with a little circular motion, so I'm just starting to add a little bit of blue. Just in places. Give that brush a bit of a rinse. I'm going to swap down to a number 6. I'm going to pick up some burnt umber and ultramarine blue. A little bit more ultramarine blue to the burnt umber. I'm going to make a nice grey. So the reason that I'm using a grey that I'm mixing is because I don't want it to shoot too far, and Payne's grey can be a bit shooty. So this is with my round number 6. I'm coming in and starting to create some lovely dark clouds. So this paper's still nice and wet. Got plenty of time. Push down with the brush, circular motion. You're going to get these lovely dark clouds appearing. Be a little bit of a wisp in here. With clouds, it's all about practice. You start to get a variety of shape. You don't want to create too much of a pattern. A few little wispy bits. So this is going to be covered over by mountains anyway. Some of those little wispy bits. And what's beautiful about when you mix your own greys is you get a split out. So I can see the brown and the blue splitting out now. Okay, so to tackle this now, I need to think about where the water's going to be in the estuary and where the sand is going to be. So I'm going to start, this is my round number 10 again, just by pulling in some sections of water. So this is a cerulean blue and I'm coming on to dry. Because these are quite small areas and because we're reloading the brush with water, see I'm reloading, dabbing in, it's going to give us enough time. We'll have a little bit of one just here, not too much. It's quite nice where you get the bits of sand coming through. Then if I pick up my round number 6 again, just go back into this same grey mix. You can have a little bit of the grey within here as well, because there won't be a lot of blue within this water. Just reflecting the colours from the sky in the water. Concentrate on getting nice edges. If you're in a hot country, I would suggest you do one of these at a time and put your grey in, then move down, because it's quite, well, I've come back to nice cloudy weather and it's quite damp. I can get away with it here. But in a hotter climate, you will need to do one of these at a time. So that's looking really nice and effective. So I'm going to dry that one off now. Okay, so that's nicely dry and it's settled really lovely. Got some really nice split out on these clouds. You can see little halos of black brown and that works really nicely. The whole thing is warm to the touch, so I know it's totally dry. I've picked up my round number 6 and I'm going to come in now with a bit of water over this bottom bit of the sky. We're going to start to create some distant mountains. So we're going to use that same grey mix. I'm just going to keep mixing it up. I'm going to drop that into the water and let that flow a little bit. We've got a really nice mounting appearing there. I'm going to pick up my round number 10 and I can come in. So I haven't got, the perfect colour now is raw sienna. I haven't got raw sienna. So I'm going to use some cadmium yellow. So if I just get a bit of tissue, just going to clean an area a little bit off on my palette. Show you how I'm going to make that sandy colour. Okay, so if I take some of the cadmium yellow, then I want to warm it up. So if I take a little bit of cadmium red in there, you're basically using your complementary colours, primary colours. So I've got yellow, I've got red, and I need a blue. The best blue for me to choose is the ultramarine blue. You see how that's changed? So I've got a nice sandy colour. It looks a little bit too green. Got a little bit more yellow to it. If it looks a little bit too muddy looking, you can add a bit more. I'm going to add a tiny little bit more. That's a good sand colour that I've got there. If you've got raw sienna, you can just use raw sienna. So if I come in with a little bit of water now, I am leaving a very fine line between that mountain that I've just done and the sand, because I don't want it to shoot up. You could dry it in between as well. Then I'm going to bring this sandy colour in. Now if you come a little bit over the water's edge, you get this overlap and the layering of the sand coming through, so it can make the water look quite a lot shallower. So it's up to you whether you want little bits that are shallower. And this is just called layering when you're taking those colours over. And leave that very fine dry line in between, just like a little bit of a highlight. Come over that bit and that will fade that in. I can just dab into the grey and just take a little bit of shadow, because we're going cloudy day. There's not going to be a lot of shadow. It's all going to look a little bit murky, and that's working quite nicely with just those horizontal strokes of grey. So I'm going to dry that one off. Okay, so that's nicely dry. If I come in again with that same grey, which is the burnt umber and ultramarine, we're going to do a little bit more layering now. I'm going to come over this distant mountain and create another one. You notice that I came on dry this time. This is so we're getting a darker effect. So this is wet onto dry. And it's going to make that other one in the distance go backwards because it's less dark. And then this one's going to come forwards. You got to make sure is when you're coming over that little bit that's come over the sky without the mountain, that you take in plenty of that dark colour, because you don't want to see the line of the other mountain underneath. See, you've got that two layers there now. Okay, I'll dry that one off. Okay, so once that's dry, you can come in with a little bit more of that grey. Just create a few craggy bits. So I'm just following the line of the land and I'm just using my brush. There's lots of different ways to do craggy bits on mountains. This time, just using my brush just to add that extra little bit of shadow and detail on that first mountain. Take that a little bit further. Just filling that line a little bit. And that one's pretty much done. All of these exercises are for beginners, and it's to give you little snippets of technique that you can build upon. It's what I do in my classes. In my classes, I always go through different techniques every week, different subjects, and over time, it's not too daunting and that knowledge builds up. And that's what I'm trying to do with these beginners tutorials as well. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like, subscribe and share. I pop on 2 beginners tutorials a week. I also have a more comprehensive tutorial that goes into my members only area, which is $5.99 a month. So if you're interested in that, please do look that up in the description. Okay, thanks.